Well, here we are again on another day with another project. This one here I think is gonna suck a little bit. So I did a cleanup job and a brush hogging job yesterday with this skid steer, and I backed up and I noticed I had fluid leaking everywhere. You could see that track down there is soaked, and when I move it, it just pours right out. See here, this is just from getting it on and off the trailer, and this was yesterday, so the fluid had a lot of time to soak up, but yeah, it's leaking a lot of fluid. Oh yeah, just a little update on the trailer here. I ended up getting a really good deal on one of these 48 by 24 rigid toolboxes. So it fit right down in there, really good. I only had to do one little notch there to get it in, and that was it. So I'm super happy about that. All my stuff fits in there, and I don't have to worry about it getting stolen or wet or anything anymore. So, and yeah, I put almost 100 miles on the trailer yesterday for the first time, and yeah, you can see it's pretty dirty. Had no trouble with it at all. No trouble with that, no trouble with the truck. It looks like it's coming from this center thing in here, which that protects the hoses for the drive motor. I'm assuming either something blew out, or, well, obviously something blew out, but either something blew out naturally or a stick or something got stuck up in there and broke something. Hoping I don't have to pull the track off, but it's probably gonna end up being that way. So I'm gonna pull this plate off first and possibly start it up, see where I can see where it's coming from, and then, because these lines here, I don't know if you could see them, these lines right there, there's 4 of them. There's 2 big ones and 2 small ones. They're all dry, so it's not coming from the fittings, it's coming from that. So let's see if we can figure out where it's coming from before we take too much apart, and we'll go from there. Well, I'm not seeing anything yet. I was hoping oil would be leaking out of here or something, but yeah, I'm gonna have to dig a little deeper. I'm gonna lift the seat up inside so I can see if anything's leaking under there, obviously, because that's where all the hoses and the pump is. So let's do that. Everything looks pretty dry down in there, so yeah, I don't know. Let me see if I can get that little cover off that's down in there. This little cover right here, I'm gonna see if I can get that off, because there's some bolts there. I don't know. I'm just trying to avoid pulling this freaking track off. So let's get that off. Alright, stop. Stop. Well, I'm gonna have to do exactly what I didn't want to do, and that's pull the track off, because it just make it a lot easier to try to get in where those lines are once the track is off. So I'm going to get it elevated here a little bit so I can get some jacks under it. I'll go ahead and get the grease fitting out. I can release the tension on the tracks here. Yes, I do know that I could have just lifted the machine up with the bucket, but every time I run this machine it's spewing oil all over the place from that hole, so I'm trying not to run it as much as possible. Well, there's the track off. Couple things. I got this hub seal right here leaking in the back. That's something I'm probably gonna have to take to somebody to do, but that's been leaking for a long time. But every week I make sure I check the gear oil in this and top it off, so that's not a huge deal right now. Another problem this thing has is on both sides, the cylinder that tightens the track will leak grease down maybe once every couple weeks or so. I got to throw some grease in that, so that's another issue. But anyway, I did find the problem. You got these two small lines right here. It's actually this bottom one has the hole in it, and as soon as you push the unlock button, you don't even have to move the track. As soon as you put your seatbelt on and push the unlock button, this starts spraying fluid out like crazy. I'm glad it's not one of these bigger ones, because that's probably going to be really expensive. So when my technician at New Holland calls me back, I'm going to order these two hoses here and just replace them both, because it's a matter of time before the other one goes. The big ones I'm not going to bother until I have to, because I know those are not going to be cheap, I'm sure. So I guess there's nothing more I can do until my New Holland guy gets back to me and lets me know when I can get the hoses and how much they're going to be. Hey, Zoe. Well, since I'm waiting on the New Holland guy to call me back on this. I have this Cub Cadet here to fix for a guy. He brought this to me to fix last year a few times, and the last time I fixed it was in the fall. And the two spindles there for the blade bearings, it's got two blades in it. The bearings for them were a little bit loose. And I told him probably first thing in the spring he's probably going to have to put those in it. So he brought this over to me to work on, so I might as well share this exciting project also. So I'll get the deck and stuff taken off of this, and we'll see what we got to work with here. This dog just doesn't stop. All day. All day that happens, like a million times a day. Alright, well, here's this. Wasn't a belt wasn't part of the job, but that belt is not gonna last probably about 5 more seconds, so needs a belt. See what these bearings look like. Oh wow. Oh, there's the problem. I didn't even see that. Oh my god. Look at this. Wow, that is wound in there tight. I can't even move. I can't even move that blade. Oh man. Oh, that's pretty shot. I don't know. I can't remember. One of these had a little bit of play in it last year, but I know that rope wasn't in there. Yeah. So I guess we got to get that rope out of there now, don't we? Holy crap, that's in there. Yeah, let's get that out. Well, here's my arsenal of tools to try to get this rope out of these blades. Who knows what it's gonna take. Yeah, I guess that explains why that belt was chewed up. Wow, that thing is tight. Like, that won't move at all. Wow. You know, it might be easier to take the blade off. There we go. Wow. Oh, we got some wire too, looks like. That's just burnt right in there. That's melted. Wow. They must have ran this for like 10 minutes. Wow. Oh, holy crap. there you have it right here. This one here looks like it got hot and the seal is just broke off. This one's tight. This is the one that the rope was in. This thing must have got super hot. That won't even spin. This one here spins, however, that sounds really good. So I'd imagine that was the one over there with the play in it. This one's got a little bit, but not as much as last year. I just can't remember which one it was. But it's most likely this one, because you could see in there where the ball bearings are. It's super rusty down in there, so it's probably just got so hot it just locked up. But yeah, so the same thing with this. I'm just gonna call down and order the parts and get them in. We'll see which ones get here first, either the skid steer or this lawnmower. So guess that's about all I could do on either one for now. Well, here it is actually a few hours later. This didn't take long at all. The local store had the same, had these right in stock, so I had to hold on to something to see how much they were. They were pretty pricey, but I got them. That's what the customer wants, so we'll get these put on. There, she's all together. Kind of give it a quick once over here. Grease things up. I grease these front kingpins up here for them. Good. Yeah, the oil could definitely use a change, but they only wanted me to do the bearings, so that's all I'll do then. All right, let's go give her a little test. Alright, well, I'd say that's fixed. I don't hear any strange noises or anything like that, so he should be pretty happy. He'll be able to mow his lawn now. Alright, so here it is. This is about 4 days later now. I've been waiting for these parts for about 3 or 4 days, whatever, but here they are. Finally came in. A lot of money for these. It's a little over 200 bucks for these two metal hoses. It's crazy, right? Anyway, I don't know what one's what, but one of them is for the parking brake and the other one is for the 2-speed. I never knew I had a 2-speed on this machine because it never worked. There's a rocker switch on the left joystick. I'm assuming that's the 2-speed. If anybody else has one of these C175s, maybe let me know how the 2-speed works, because I must have a wire malfunction or something, because I've messed with that rocker switch and nothing happens in there. So yeah, I'm definitely going to get after that, so that way when I go long distances with it I can kick it into high gear. But yeah, that's what these are, so let's get these put in. Don't give you much room to work. Well, the good news is that I got the old lines out and they look the same. This is where it blew out right here. Let's see if you can see that or not. There's a little hole right there. You could barely see it. And you figure once you get some pressure behind it, I don't know how much pressure runs in these lines, but I'm sure once you get some pressure behind there. But yeah, there's just a little pinhole there. So like I said, I'm going to replace both of them because I'm sure this one, what caused it is this, you got this block on the back right here that these lines go in. And of course the back one, they sandwich together like that. Of course the back one I had to cut out in like 4 or 5 different pieces because there's just no room back there. You could see that block was right there. I mean, there's no room. So I had to cut that out of there with a knife. So this is actually what the problem was, that it rotted right inside the where that goes through it. You know, it makes sense, all that stuff just sits in there and all that moisture over the years. So this ain't getting put back in. I'm sure it has its uses. You know, I mean, it keeps things from rubbing, but I don't really think a whole lot of rubbing goes on down there, and I had to destroy it to get it out anyway, so the hell with it. I don't put tons of hours on this thing, so I'll get these put back in. It was a pain in the ass getting these out. That's why I shut the camera off, because I gotta be honest, I shut the camera off because I started swearing pretty bad, so I don't need to be posting that on there, right? So I'll get these back in. I kind of figured out you get a pry bar behind that and push these lines, those big lines will move in just a little bit and can snake them in. But so I'll try to get them back in, and we'll see what we got next. And then I got my pry bar. I don't know if you can see. Push that line right out of the way, like that. And then that kind of snaps in, so there you have it. So that's where that one gets hooked in. Let's get this one started here so the shit doesn't end up all over inside these lines. Try to keep as much dirt and debris out of these lines as I can. Get that on there. Alright, what's the problem here? There we go. Alright, that one started. Come on. Alright. Hopefully that's clean. Looks like it is. Alright, we got that one started. Alright. Let's snake this one in now. Boy, they don't leave you much room to work, that's for damn sure. We're jammed up again. Alright. Let's try a different approach on this one. Try to go in this way maybe. There we go, I think that was a ticket. There we go. Boy, that one's gonna be fun to start. Yeah, this is like way down in here. Holy crap. That one's gonna be a bitch. Oh, I can't even get the cap off. Let me get some pliers. Don't dare put this thing up in here without the cap on it. Holy shit. Boy, that sucks. I can't even get the freaking cap off. What the hell? And I really don't want to. I really don't want to move it around too much without the cap on there. The cap's not even that tight. I just can't get a grip on it. I gotta move the camera here. Get it from this side. You can only get a little bit. Wow. I got it. Alright. I gotta figure out how to get it on there. What the frig? Oh. Wow, this thing is just super tight. There's no room at all in here. What the frig? There. Holy crap, did it actually go? Oh, almost. No way. It actually went. Oh, bastard. Alright, let's get this one on now. You know, it took me like twice as long to get this thing apart because I had to cut that rubber thing out of there. That was a pain. Of course my hand's right in the way, isn't it? I hope you guys appreciate this. Filming this stuff is like, it takes a long time. No matter where I put the camera, you can't even see it. Let's try that one. You probably still can't even see what I'm doing. Oh, there she goes. She started. All right, all 4 of them are started now. I just gotta tighten them. Sweet. Yeah, let's get these babies tightened up. I don't know what was harder, or I don't know what's going to be harder, honestly. Getting the track back on or getting these hoses off. These hoses were not easy to get off. I realized I could have just cut the old hoses off, but I didn't want to do that because I wanted to know what I had to do to get the new ones on, you know. Normally stuff like this I just cut the old hoses off, but I wanted to have a plan. So alright, those are tight. Go the right way with it, hopefully. What a pain, man. There is like no room in here. Alright, that one's tight. Get down in here. Wow. Alright, that one's tight. Before I put the track on or anything, I'm going to start this thing up and make sure it don't leak before I go through all that. So yeah, we'll get her started up and do a nice thorough check and make sure there's no leaks before I put that track back on, because that track is heavy. Well, before I go too far and test too much out, I need to put hydraulic oil back into it. When it blew out, I noticed it. I was scooping up debris with the grapple bucket, and I noticed a trail following me. And you know, I'm not sure exactly when it blew out. I mean, I'm usually pretty good at looking on the ground constantly and making sure that, you know, there's no oil leaking or anything. So I believe I caught it pretty quick. So so what I had is I had the grapple bucket and the brush hog rental. So I had to nurse it up on the trailer with it leaking, getting the grapple bucket and the brush hog loaded up on the trailer also with it leaking. And then I had to go back to the rental place and drop off the grapple bucket and the brush hog rental. So I had to get it off the trailer and then back on. And then when I got it home, I had to get it off the trailer over here and then start it up a bunch of times, you guys seen in the beginning of the video, to try to find out where the leak was coming from. So I'd imagine I probably lost at least, I'd say 3 or 4 gallons of oil during all that. So this machine isn't level right now. by any means, but I'm at least going to put a couple gallons in it because I know it's going to use at least that. So I guess I'll hopefully remember to tell everyone how much it lost at the end of the video, or at some point here when I get it filled up, because I'm sure nobody wants to sit around and watch me nurse oil into this thing for the next 20 minutes. It takes oil slow. There's a filter inside the, like a paper filter inside the oil, whatever your reservoir here, there's a filter in there and it's plugged. It's getting plugged. You think I'd be I can't remember to get another one every time I go down to the place where I bought this from, so but I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see if you can see it. There's the reservoir down in there. I don't know if you can see the fill line or not, but it's I see it now, so it's probably take at least another gallon or two to fill it. Just push this side forward and make it spin. Yeah. Alright. Alright, you can shut it off. I don't think anything's leaking. Yeah, it looks good. Doesn't look like anything's leaking. Alright, well, I got everything back together. I topped the hydraulic fluid off. That ended up holding about 2.5 gallons because, like I said before, I had to get the machine on the level and I had to let the boom down and suck all the hydraulics in. So that ended up taking about 2.5 gallons. The track actually wasn't that bad to put on. That was pretty easy. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I checked and there's no leaks, so yeah. So I'll just we'll drive it around and do. I got a couple tasks I could do with it to test it out. I mean, I know it'll be good, but we could do some stuff with it. I got a picnic table to move, and I want to get the brush hog out of the back of my truck. I put the brush hog in the back of the old Pete, a couple other attachments to store them for the winter so they don't get all crap. So I'll get that out. We could mess around with that, but I think it's going to be good, so let's give her a test. Alright, well, there was no problems with it. Everything ran good. I did everything I had to do with it good. Tried out the brush hog, the hydraulics work good, everything works pretty good, so I guess I'm going to call this a wrap. Somewhat of an easy fix. So I'm not sure who seen my first ever video that I posted on YouTube. Was just a picture collection of this brush hog project here. There's no talking or anything in the video, so I'll explain a little bit right now. This is just a regular hydraulic motor I got from a metal shop down the road for me. I'm not really sure what the specs on it are. I can't really remember what the specs are. I think it was like 540 RPMs, and I believe it was 2000 PSI max pressure you can put on it. And then I got this coupler to go on it to go into the original yoke U-joints. And then I made the bracket. I made everything else. As far as the relief valve goes, this is a double relief right here. You could do these either way. You can just put it depends on what your machine is. This machine here builds up, I believe it was 2600 PSI. So that would blow the seals in that motor out, because that motor was only rated for 2000. So I had to get a relief anyway for this. If you get a motor powerful enough for the PSI that your machine puts out, you don't need a relief. Then all you would need is a check valve to tee in the two hoses, because when you stop the hydraulics, if you don't have either a double relief valve or a check valve, your hydraulics will stop dead in their tracks and you'll end up breaking something. So with this one here, I believe this is the pressure side. So this is in and that's out. So you turn the reliefs down on the outside. So that way when you stop it, it'll just bypass and it'll let the unit spool down so it doesn't stop. So, and then I ran all 3/4 inch hoses into the couplers and bought the skid steer plate, welded everything up. This is a 5-foot wide brush hog. That's pretty much it for this. I've been wanting to explain this brush hog in a video, so there's a perfect opportunity to do so. So yeah, we'll call this project fixed, and if you liked what you've seen, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and we'll see everyone in the next video, and thanks for watching.